Hey, welcome to Mike's Trains, and thanks for joining me for another video. You'll notice that this video is in the train station scenery series, and I don't remember offhand what number it is, but it's going to continue on that series. But before I start that, I just wanted to show you this. These two cars were bought off of I believe these ones here were bought from Amazon, and they're the cheap ones that you find there. You get 50 cars for like 10 bucks or 20 bucks or something. Just wanted to show with a little bit of extra paint work, they can look really good. So don't shy away from those at all. And this is a minivan that was bought, same type of thing. You can't, there, now you can see it. This allows you to actually put figures inside, and that's what I did. But just to show you, you know, you can do a lot with the cheap stuff off of Amazon. Don't shy away from it. It is good stuff. It just needs a little help, is all. And that's all I wanted to show you with these. Like these cars here, they have the windows inside. They're all tinted black. They come that way, but nothing fits right when you buy them. The windshields don't fit in there right. Nothing sits right. Here's one that I haven't touched yet. Okay, this is kind of how they look. They look kind of crappy. You can see the big gap in the windshield. Nothing fits right. It's not painted. The wheels are not done well. Everything just isn't right. So to go from that to this one here, and you can see the windshield, everything fits in there the way it should. So there you go. Just a little heads up. You don't need to buy the expensive stuff to get something that looks good. So all that being said, let's move on to what we're going to talk about in this video. Alright, so here's what I've done. I haven't actually built anything yet, but I drew this out, and this is what's going to happen under the train station. I know I talked about putting a tunnel over the two mainline tracks that are on the side of the station. And some people made some comments, and it made me start thinking that maybe that wasn't the right way to go. So I don't know how everybody else's mind works when they do this stuff, but if I can't visualize it, I can't build it. It's just the way my mind works. I have to be able to see it in my mind in order to make it happen. If I can see it, I can build it. If I can't see it, I can't build it. So that being said, last weekend my son took me on a trip to New York City, and we rode the train. And believe it or not, I had never ridden a train before. I've ridden the old steam trains and things like that, but I've never ridden a current passenger train line anywhere. And he took me on a train ride to New York, and I watched everything that I saw outside the windows in the train as we were going to New York. And I saw a lot of things that really, some of it kind of surprised me, some of it I expected. But what I did come across was something like this that allowed me to visualize, and as soon as I saw it, I knew that's exactly how I needed to do it. And it was a huge overpass. It was 8 lanes of highway, and it was probably 100 feet up, 75 feet up off the ground, and I saw it and it just all clicked with me. And when I got home, I started drawing this out, and this is what I've come up with. So I have piers along here. This would be the ground. I have piers right here. I have a support structure that goes across this, and then these right here, all these in the middle here, these are I-beam supports, and then this would be the road surface up here. And this whole thing, I need to fill up 3 inches of space. And I'm going to build 3 of these. There's going to be one toward the end of the out toward the outer edge on the one side of the main line. There's going to be another one 4 inches in from that, and another one 4 inches from that. And the spacing actually works out perfectly to go in with the train station. So this is how it's going to be. Unfortunately, this is all I have to show you as far as what I'm building. I'm going to show you what I'm going to use to build it, and then we'll go from there. So we're looking at this. This is 3 inches of full space. I have everything marked out so that I can go and build it, and I have to draw it like this so that I know what I need for parts. So this is dowel, and these are cut to 2-inch lengths. This right here is another piece of wood. I'm going to show you this in a minute. This is cut to 3/4 inch, but it's a 1/2 inch thick. And then I have 1/4 inch I-beams, which I already had and I was going to use those, but now I just need a whole lot more of them. So this is what you'll see looking in from the aisle at the train station. So why don't we take a look at the parts I'm going to use to build this. Okay, so what I have these I-beams. These I bought at the hobby store. They're a 1/2 inch, not 1/2 inch, I'm sorry, a 1/4 inch high, like that. So they're a 1/4 inch in height, and then whatever width, that's how I measured it out with when I drew up my diagram. That diagram is built full size so that I can match all my parts up and get everything right. So I need 12 of these. And the length, this is how long they come. They're, I don't know, maybe 18 inches long. They're long enough. That's all I know. I don't know the length of it. And they come black, so I've already painted these gray, but I think I'm going to paint these primer red. And I think there'll be a better contrast to what's going on in there. So I've got that. I bought 1/2 inch dowel right here. This comes from Home Depot. I would much rather buy all my stuff at Home Depot as opposed to the hobby store any day because it's cheaper. As soon as you hit the hobby store, the price, you know, jumps significantly. So this is a 1/2 inch by 4 foot dowel, and this is more than enough to cover 3 of those structures that I showed you. And then while I was there, I also found this at Home Depot. This is poplar, and it's a 1/2 inch thick by 4 feet long, and it's 1.5 inches wide. To make 3, this is more than enough. In hindsight, I probably should have bought a wider one. This was the narrowest one they had. Now I'll have to rip this on my table saw to be 3/4, but that'll work out fine. This will, you know, I'll have a little bit left over. I always like to buy more than I need so that if another project comes up, I have a little bit left over to work with. So, but this isn't going to give me that. It's almost exactly what I need. So that takes care of the I-beams, the structure supports, and then the actual concrete support. Now at the end of the train station on the lower floor, I had this left over. This is a piece of basswood. I bought this at a hobby store a few years back. And what this is going to do, this is going to make a concrete retaining wall at the end of the lower level of the train station. It's going to go right down the platforms. It's going to separate these structures from the passenger platforms. And this is all more of what I got from riding the train. So I have a little better understanding of what goes on, and it clicked in my mind and I'm able to see it. So now that I can see it, now I can build it. This has partly been the hold up of why I kind of put all this stuff on hold and I started doing some other things. I also wanted to give you a look at what else I've done over this past week or two to make my life easier here on the bench. So why don't we take a look at that. So this is another thing I've been working on. Up until now, my spray booth here has been downstairs. So every time I'm on my bench and I want to work, I have to pick everything up, drag it downstairs spray it, and then drag everything back up here. And I'm, you know, it's really inconvenient, and I wanted to fix that. So what I did was I added a shelf in here, and this shelf actually folds down. They're folding hinges. So I did that so that I can take this off of here and I can access the window. It doesn't bother with the doors over here. Very easy to access, very easy to get to. When I don't need it, just fold the shelf down and the room goes on as it's always been. And then the other thing I built was over there behind the spray booth. Now this is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and I built this holder for my airbrushes to keep them organized and right where I want them, and they're and easily accessible. This was scraps from another project I had, and they are coat hooks I put up there, and I bent them, and they hold the airbrushes. And then I don't think you can see it from here, but there's actually a hook on the very bottom. Let's see, right there, and it holds my air hose. So this all works out really well. I really like it, and it's going to make my life much easier. And then now, of course, my compressor sits on the floor, and then this is a brand new right there. This is a brand new vent thing to put in the window. I made one a long time ago. If you guys go back through my videos, you can see I made an in the window spacer. I don't know what you want to call it, but it goes in the window and it hooks up to the spray booth, so that your spray booth doesn't have to be direct. If it's not directly in front of a window, you can still route it around and get to a window and vent it outside. This one here is kind of nice in that it's made out of 2-inch foam only, and I just took the snorkel end of the vent that comes with the spray booth, and I just pushed it through, and I put a weather strip top and bottom, and just covered this in it's like a vinyl contact paper, and that's it. It's very simple, very easy. And when I put this in the window, it goes this way, but when I put it in the window like this, the port from the spray booth just plugs right into the back end of it. It's no fuss, and it works really well. I've been using it for a couple of days now, and it works great. I have no problems with it whatsoever. So anyway, that's what I've been working on, kind of filling my time with, because like I said, I was kind of having a mental block as to how to finish this train station, and I'm good now. We're ready to go, and we're going to start working this thing up and get everything put together. So anyway, that's all I have for this video. If you're watching me for the first time, as always, please subscribe. Love to have you following along with what I'm doing. I hope you like what you see. If you have any questions about what I'm doing, please, by all means, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. And if you've got something to add to what I'm doing, I'm more than happy to hear it. I would love to hear what everybody thinks. Be kind, but you know, let me know if you have any ideas or whatever. I am kind of stubborn, I will say. Once I hit an idea, I'll pretty much stick with it and defend it, unless something's really wrong, and then, you know, I'll rethink it. Such as my tunnel, I did rethink that, and thank you to everyone who did comment. I do appreciate it. It made me start thinking a little more. And you are correct. This will look better, I think. If you'd like, you can subscribe to my website. It's mikestrains.wordpress.com. Over there I have pictures of all my train stuff, my layouts up there, as well as a HO scale layout that I'm building for my father. And if you hadn't seen it yet, I did a video on layered backdrops 2 weeks ago, I think, and I finally uploaded pictures of what that looks like on his layout. If you'd like to see what the end result is of that, keep in mind in the pictures the foreground scenery is not done. There's just a base layer of scenery on that. The rest of it still has yet to be completed. But the background is in there and you can see what that looks like in place. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for this week. So until next time, happy modeling!